Kevin Durant last year with the Suns didn't make the playoffs nor the play-in game. Slick Rick, Kevin Durant, one of the best players of all time, a top 15 player surely of all time, at least many would suggest. But can Kevin Durant get Anthony Edwards closer to a championship?
No, he cannot. For a couple of reasons.
Oh, you looked at the camera when you said that.
Hey, you guys have been challenging me today. I got to come strong. I just realized that, right? And when we talked about dry snitching on middle names, and then you didn't have any problem just bouncing out there going, so what's your middle name?
I don't think it's dry snitching. Speak your mind. So.
Okay, all right. No, for a couple of reasons. Number one, because you're not getting him for free. You're not just adding him to the equation, right? You'd have to give up multiple players, whether it's Rudy Gobert or Julius Randle and Mike Conley and Jaden McDaniels, or like you'd have to give up at least 2, if not 3 players from the current rotation. So now KD has to replace the production of those guys. What's that?
And picks?
That's
what I'm saying. You could use some of them picks, though.
They don't have a whole lot of picks to work with, right? And because of where they are with the salary cap, they have to match KD's number of $52 million, I believe it is, exactly under these terms, right? But the other part is probably the most important part, which is we saw the Phoenix Suns acquire him for a ton of draft picks, but also Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, right? And the year before that KD got there with Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder, they went to the second round of the playoffs. And then the following year in February, they traded for KD, and they went to the second round of the playoffs. And they never went any higher than that. The next year, they got knocked out by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. They got swept. We all know what happened this year. They didn't even make the playoffs. So the idea that KD at this point in his career, while he's still putting up amazing numbers and he's still an impactful player, in terms of being the difference maker for a team, taking them to a level in the playoffs that they are previously not at, I don't look at his recent history now and find reason to believe that that would be the case.
Can I ask you a question really quick?
Absolutely. Matthias.
How do we help our star then? Who do we get to help our star? Because we got to get somebody. You can't watch this series and say we can't go get nobody. And you're going to have to trade somebody. So, like, who do we get or how can we help our star?
It's why I believe it's on Anthony Edwards to become the star that he can become. I don't believe that talent-wise they're that far apart in terms of the supporting cast. If Anthony Edwards becomes a 3-level scorer, becomes focused on defense the way he is at times consistently, and he is able to seize the moment. Like we talked about it throughout the playoffs, right? There are certain times within games, like at the end of the game, you look at the numbers and you say they're not that bad for Anthony Edwards. But when he was delivering, like that's what was missing. And I just think look, he's 23 years old. There's no reason to believe that he can't get to that. But right now, I just don't think he understands fully the job and the responsibility that comes with being the best player on a championship team.
Slick's right. KD don't get you no closer. KD don't get you no closer to a championship. And it's really just an objective fact. Number one, teams that have Kevin Durant, they get worse over time. They don't necessarily get better over time. When I think about the Phoenix Suns, first year with the Phoenix Suns, you go to the playoffs, you lose to Denver. The second year with the Phoenix Suns, you get swept in the first round. Then the next year with the Phoenix Suns, you don't even make the play-in game. You think about Kevin Durant's tenure with the Nets. The first year with the Nets, you lose in the semis to the Bucks. The second year with the Nets, you get swept, but at least you get swept by a Celtics team that went on to the NBA Finals. The third year with the Nets, you get swept by a mediocre, moderate Philadelphia 76ers teams. Teams with Kevin Durant, over the course of time, they get worse. They don't necessarily get better. But the dilemma if Anthony Edwards joins forces with Kevin Durant is that he becomes Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant joined the Golden State Warriors after being up 3-1, losing that 3-1 lead in the Western Conference Finals to the Golden State Warriors. Ant-Man, you've been to the conference finals 2 years in a row. What does Kevin Durant most often get criticized for? For quitting on the Thunder because he couldn't get there and joining a better team with better stars. Ant-Man, you've gone twice to the conference finals. Don't join with Kevin Durant and become Kevin Durant, because then you're just joining forces with somebody because you can't get it done, in theory, by yourself. The basketball narrative. Just get better. Get it done. Nikola Jokic, he got better. He made those around him better. He got it done. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he got better. He made those around him better. He got it done. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, his team, it got better. They got those around him better, and they got it done. You're literally seeing year after year after year after year, players get better, get those around them better, and they get it done. They don't necessarily have to join forces with another superstar. If Ant-Man joins KD, he just becomes KD. Instead, stay put, get better, help those around you get better, and get it done.
We talking about Kevin Durant?
Absolutely.
You know who we talking? Kevin Durant. You know his name, right?
KD.
You know his name?
Yes, sir.
Put some respect on Kevin Durant's name. Yes, Ant-Man should want to join with KD, because if he do, they will get to that finals.
That's what you said about the Suns, Shady.
Okay, well, no.
And about the Nets, Shady.
Yeah, because Bradley Beal wasn't who I thought he was. And that Nets team, James
about
Harden.
Devin Booker,
James
sir?
Harden, he won did Booker look like the same to you this year? No. See, the problem is his name is Kevin Durant, so we want to make this whole big thing around his name,
Okay.
right? But since his Achilles the last 5 years, since his Achilles injuries, he's been averaging like 27, almost 28 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
I only can think of only 2 people in the last 5 years to do that, Giannis and Luka. You know how I feel about them dudes.
That's right.
The same way you feel about them. So it's like the name of Kevin Durant, we make a big deal about everything. But if you just take the player, his skill set, and you add him to the Wolves, I watched the Wolves this year, especially in this last series, the Western Conference, and I watched the game plan for OKC. Let's just take out Ant-Man.
Yes.
And make somebody else score. Okay, cool. Let's let Julius Randle score. He couldn't do it at all. This is what I will tell you. They're going to have to figure out, how the hell can we stop Ant-Man and Kevin Durant? Now it's a whole nother issue, because we ain't talking about no Julius Randle. We ain't talking about nobody like that. We talking about Kevin Durant, okay? And to address your last take,
Please, address it.
like,
Address it.
and I'm going to say it again. When Kevin Durant is being talked about, it's a different level of the way they come at him. Because you're talking about, why join the other superstar? LeBron James started this whole thing. And we'll never talk about it no more, right? And I'm okay with it, because now the league has changed. Yeah. Now guys want, because there was a time where Kawhi Leonard could have had SGA. No. I want a superstar that's known. Give me Paul George. And if you don't get him, I'm leaving. Okay, we're gonna do what the superstar wants. Let's put them all together. I can sit here and name AD and LeBron. People forget LeBron did bring a championship to LA. He ain't do it by himself. He got a young Anthony Davis. Yo, look, bro, tell them over there, the Pelicans, you ain't playing no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when it's when it's Kevin Durant, we're not gonna talk like that. We're gonna say, you quit on your team, and then you lost your team, and you went to go. Yeah. Come on, so everybody's doing this. Yeah. Real quick, Giannis, you love Giannis. Y'all, that's your people, right? That's your people. He about to leave, though.
We'll believe it when we see it, and then we'll address it.
Okay.
Even if he don't leave, why every time we talk KD, though, we always want to bring up the bad tenders?
Yeah.
Because Slick did just say he changed around the whole OKC Thunder organization, right? Took them to the finals. I don't believe the Warriors win those 2 without KD.
We don't.
That's why he has the MVP.
I agree with that.
So those 2 organizations got better with KD because he changed around the OKC and he took the Warriors to 2 finals and he got
73-win Warriors team.
Championships.
73-win Warriors.
That lost.
Championships, though.
That lost.
73-win team.
Do they win those championships without KD?
I believe they win 2. I believe they win 2 in 3 years. I still believe they win 2. I don't know if it's the 18-17 I believe they beat a Cavs team that does not have Kyrie Irving.
But what you do know is that they lost, correct?
Championships.
They lost the 73-win team.
All right, okay.
And they won championships with KD.
And they won 2 championships without him.
2 organizations got better with Kevin Durant. Listen, it's hard for me. Did we all watch this series?
Yeah.
The Thunder versus the OKC. I mean, the Wolves versus OKC. We watched that.
I watched it.
Did you see the wide open shots from Alexander and those boys that they missed? Did we see that with our own 2 eyes?
I seen it, James.
So as much as we want to sit here and say,
I can't forget it.
I mean, Anthony Edwards, do this, do that. Them boys didn't show up. Your second best player, your all-star player, did not show up. Man, listen. Hey, I call all them boys up to the office right now. Y'all see what we trying to do. All right, so it's probably going to be either you 2 or you 3. But y'all out of here for KD, because KD is going to help your best player be better than Anthony Edwards.
If somebody, James, lies to you, if somebody lies to you
lied to me
and you believe him, and then they lied to you the exact same lie again. If you believe them again, you're the fool.
You lying,
because
not me,
here's the
KD's.
thing. The Phoenix Suns were closer to a championship than the Minnesota Timberwolves were. Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker. If we get Devin Booker with Anthony Edwards, if we get Devin Booker with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker's dropped 70 points in a game before. He's an all-star. He's a first-team All-NBA player. If we just get Devin Booker with Kevin Durant, we'll be unstoppable. But the dilemma is this. You have to hemorrhage your roster to do it. So you send Mikal Bridges over to the Knicks. You send Cam Johnson over to the Brooklyn Nets.
Well, actually, the Bridges.
Oh, they both go to the Nets,
right.
and then by means, he ends up going to the Knicks.
Yep.
You have to hemorrhage your roster in order to bring in Kevin Durant. Yo, it's the same lie. The Phoenix Suns were close to a chip, a 60-win team. They were the best team in basketball for 3 consecutive years if you add up the records cumulatively. And we said all we needed was Kevin Durant. Ooh, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Y'all saw what happened. In order to acquire Kevin Durant, you're going to have to hemorrhage the roster. So then the question is, does Naz Reid go? Then the question is, if Randall goes, then the question is, does Gobert go? Then the question is, does McDaniels go? And when you hemorrhage the roster, like the Phoenix Suns had to hemorrhage the roster, there are no solutions in life. There are just trade-offs, and it's not a good trade-off.
So, Mr. GM, really quick,
Yeah.
what do you do to get Anthony Edwards closer? This team ain't winning it.
Here's where I agree with Rick Bucher. I think you add a veteran that's won a championship. Think KCP. Think of Alex Caruso. Not a KCP right now. No. Pause, James. Hold on. Hear me before you react. I'm saying a 2021 KCP. The KCP that helped get the Lakers over the edge. I'm saying an Alex Caruso. Somebody helps get them over there. Not a 31-year-old Alex Caruso, right? I'm saying like that type.
So
that
ain't enough, though.
Who is that right now? I'm trying to think of who that is.
Here's
right
why
now.
I can't suggest it's not enough, 2-5. To me, what happened with the Timberwolves, if Ant-Man gets better, right? Ant-Man gets better, that's a much more competitive series. The Thunder are legit. You just said the Thunder are about to be a dynasty. I don't disagree with you. It's going to be hard to beat the Thunder regardless. I just don't know that you're going to beat the Thunder by adding an aging Kevin Durant and hemorrhaging the youth and the depth of your roster. I just don't think that's the way to beat a Thunder team that already beat you because of depth.
But you
want to lose your depth.
But you look at the Thunder, they got 2 All-NBA type players on their team, do they not?
They do.
Okay, so like you need that. You need, listen, and maybe, I don't know, because I was maybe a really good player, but I'm for, you need superstars in your squad.
You got rid of Cat though, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like you had an All-NBA caliber player in Cat, and you had an All-NBA caliber player in
Come on, man. Cat's good, but you need somebody different. We just watched Cat with the Knicks, right?
He was good.
Scoring. Everything you talk about is scoring.
Okay, so then you bring in Randall, and Randall's not good enough. So now you want to bring in Kevin Durant.
I don't look at them guys in the same level as I look at Kevin Durant. I don't look at Cat, and I don't look at Randall as like Kevin Durant.
I agree.
All right, so let's treat it as such. Bring in somebody like a Kevin Durant, because now when you watch OKC play, you obviously got SGA. We worry about that. But then Jay Will gets busy. When he go to the bench, he gets busy.
But here's my thing.
So okay, hold on. Let's look at, because like I like to show you like the patterns. You know what I mean? Because you want to create your own pattern and you can't, because history is already written, dog. OKC this year, you see what they got going on with the film they working with Jay Will and SGA.
But Jay Will
Boston. You said he's an all NBA player.
All-star caliber player.
Okay.
But Jay Will is not Kevin Durant. What I'm suggesting to you is this. The route to championships as of late is not 2 megastars. The Pacers are not there with 2 megastars.
And they're not going to win.
The Thunder aren't even there with 2 megastars. J-Dub is a good player.
No. He's an all NBA player. It's different. It's a difference to me. It's a difference. You make all NBA, that matters. So my thing is, you look at last year with the Boston Celtics. JT and JB, those are all NBA players. You can see the difference. All I'm saying is when you really doing this thing, you trying to win championships, because we're not talking about this having a good record.
Of course.
We're talking about a championship. So when the Suns said we're going to get Kevin Durant and we're going to have Booker and we're going to have Bradley Beal, I don't know how you forgot about him, but he was supposed to be part of that thing too. He didn't hold it into his bargain. But they don't blame him. So it's all 3 of them. They're not going to blame him. They're going to blame Kevin Durant. Let's go to because you brought the Nets up. You brought the Nets up right before you go. Nets up, cool. When the Nets was rolling, you had Kyrie Irving, you had Kevin Durant, you had James Harden. If you really watch how that thing was going on, out of all them dudes, Kevin Durant was really giving that service out. Crazy work every time. Does he not?
Of course. Yeah.
But guess what? You're not going to say that. You're going to blame Kevin Durant because James was short, and sometimes Kyrie Irving, he had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But Kevin Durant's name is so big, and he's such a great player that we dismiss Bradley Beal. We dismiss
Devin Booker.
We dismiss James Harden. We dismiss Kyrie Irving. You see what I'm saying, though? When it's Kevin Durant, it's a whole nother conversation, and I hate that because it's not his fault he's that great.
But a big part of that is because, going back to the original point, is what you have to give up for KD. Because, yes, while these teams that have won championships have stars, they also, the common denominator has been they have depth and versatility. That's what OKC has. Boston wasn't a championship team until they added Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. Mm-hmm. And the problem here with KD going to Minnesota is that you're going to give away some of that depth and versatility. The difference when he went to Golden State was there was a huge surplus of money in the cap, so they didn't really have to give anything else up. They gave up Harrison Barnes, right? They were able to add him to a team that was already formed and was ready to go win championships. Was he the difference maker? There's no question in my mind. I agree. I think he filled a lot of holes because you did lose like an Andrew Bogut. You did lose Harrison Barnes. Like they lost a number of key pieces. But in this case, you're asking to add him to a team that can't afford to lose multiple pieces. And the other part is, and I just want to make this clear because people think that I'm picking on Anthony Edwards when I say that it's really on him to improve. I would say the same thing about Giannis Antetokounmpo at this point. Like, if the Milwaukee Bucks or wherever he goes, like, Giannis has to develop a mid-range game. He doesn't really score from that range. He needs to be a better playmaker, right? And he needs to be able to make free throws consistently. Like, I put the responsibility first and foremost on the star player. When I see a talent that has extraordinary talent, like an Anthony Edwards, and I see holes in his game, I'm not going to immediately go, you know what, we need to piece around him when he's 23 years old and has the opportunity to evolve his game. And I just, look, if you put SGA on this Minnesota team, then I think that they're going to the finals. And that's the difference for me.
Oh, man. Wow. Wait, you changed SGA and Ant?
SGA and Ant, and I'm saying that the Minnesota, certainly they're not getting gentlemanly swept. Yeah. It's much more of a series.
They're not going to the finals.
We can go back and forth as to whether they actually get there or not, but it's a different series.
So what happens when he scores his 30 points, then what? Because what happens when SGA scores his 30 points, right?
Yeah.
And his 5 assists.
Yep.
Then what happens? Because I've watched him playing against OKC. It's like, yo, where's the help at? Listen, SGA is a great player, but you need help. I don't know nobody.
Sure you do.
Name me somebody that's won championships with no help. Even at Steph Curry in 2022, I was surprised how well Wiggins played. Oh, wow, this dude's scoring. You need help. I watched Julius Randle do nothing. Run around with freaking
a lot of them did nothing.
Julius Randle played the biggest part in getting them to the conference final.
Correct. When we got there, though, what he looked like?
Well, okay, that's where
it was so bad for him that, you know what, you being such a star player, they had to sit him on the bench. Did y'all forget this?
That in fourth quarter.
So y'all telling me that if SGA was there, that'd matter. When your second best player that you're counting on, they had him on the bench because he couldn't perform.
If SGA is operating from the places that he can on the floor, that changes the whole dynamic of how the defense plays.
So what does Brunson need then? Because both Brunson and Anthony Edwards is really both ball dominant. So what does Brunson need? Because I feel like those are the same teams. The New York Knicks with a ball-dominant dude and Anthony Edwards and Minnesota, they're both the same. So what does he need?
Brunson needs a playmaking big. He needs a two-way big or a playmaker.
So that's not Cat?
What's that?
That's not Cat?
No. Cat's not getting guys
So he need another scorer, like a Kevin Durant type dude?
New York? No, I think Jalen can be that guy, but you're asking Jalen to be so ball dominant that he's both your go-to scorer? Who's making plays for them?
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.